Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode here on This Is Just the Beginning. Happy New Year! Oh my god, I cannot believe it's the new year and it's currently the 16th of January and I've not done an episode in so long. When I went home for the Christmas holidays back in like the first week of December now, I brought all my podcast equipment with me in hopes to record at least like two or three over the holidays. But I just found I had no time to do it. I was just so busy over the Christmas. So I think to start with this episode, I'm just gonna kind of just do a recap of the last couple months of my life. And it has been so chaotic. So I went home around like the 10th of December. And then I flew out to see one of my best friends ever in Austria for about a week, which was one of the best trips ever. I've wanted to go to Austria for so long. One, I mean, to visit the country, and two, to go visit my best friend ever, who I've spoken about so much. And it was just such a good trip to finally meet her in like her family home, her family, and yeah, it was just such a good trip, just exploring the city, having a massive catch up because basically this friend is my old German exchange partner back from school, who we met in lockdown. If you listen to my other episodes, you'll know who I'm talking about. And we've only seen each other now 3 times ever. So the first was in 2020. The second time was earlier this year when we did a girls' trip to Portugal. She tagged along on that, and that was the best trip. Like for me, that trip was the start of my whole like new chapter of my life, my whole like super start to my like self-discovery trip. And that place in Portugal was just so magical, and that is where like I truly found like inner peace. And I've not really felt it again since then. But yeah, that trip with her was just incredible. And just seeing her again, like, when you see that friend that you haven't seen in ages and you see them and like nothing's changed. Because yeah, we speak pretty much every day. So it was just, yeah, it was surreal to see her. And again, just now in Vienna. And we want to plan so many more trips together. I'm also going on my year abroad in September this year, and she is as well. And she's hoping to go to Alicante. I'm hoping to go to Malaga, which they're not far away from each other. Like, we both hope to go to Madrid, but both of our universities don't offer that option, which is so annoying because the university I'm at is one of the top for languages, yet they don't have connections to Madrid or Barcelona. And those are the two places I really wanted to go to. But I mean, Malaga would also be quite fun. So I don't know. I'm going to see if I do get that placement. I don't know yet. My university is being quite slow with all that. But yeah. So then I came back from Vienna, and then my sister came home from uni as well. And that week before Christmas was just so fun. Like, I hadn't seen my sister in a while. And yeah, we just spent so much time together because I flew back to the airport, which was really close to my sister's uni. So I just stayed with her for a few days, and that was just so fun. So that was really exciting. And then she came home, and yeah, we just spent the whole week just catching up and doing just fun Christmas things. Like, I'm not joking, we were making margaritas at like 2 p.m. most days over Christmas because we just got bored. Like, yeah, we were going out shopping, getting Christmas presents, going for brunch, seeing all of our friends. And yeah, it was good though. Very good. And then obviously Christmas came around. Really nice to see my family again. And if I'm going into the Christmas aspect, I think it is important to kind of touch on like how I was feeling around Christmas. Now, if you don't know, like, my eating disorder recovery at the moment has been so good. It's been absolutely incredible. And like starting uni back up again in September really changed for me. And I've actually adopted like a proper student lifestyle now, which I will get into a bit more. And the whole uni thing, I'll get into that. That's the main crux of this episode, I guess. But I've really been adopting the university student lifestyle of not giving a fuck, having lazy days, going out, all the stuff you're meant to do when you're a student. Because last year I did not do that, and I was just so focused on kind of pseudo recovery and just like myself. I was really focused on gym, and that was kind of it. I didn't really enjoy the university thing. Like, I could have done everything I did at uni at home, and obviously I was going to, but I decided to carry on. So yeah, I've just really, really been enjoying, literally, like, me and my flatmates just sit in the kitchen all afternoon, watch movies. I mean, before Christmas, we were eating Christmas snacks, Christmas movies. Me and my friend always drank like a bottle of mulled wine a day. We ate so much camembert. We made so many cheese boards, which, my stomach did not like me for, but it was good in the moment. Um, and yeah, that was kind of the build up to Christmas. And, I've had lazy days. I've gone out more. I've just learned that you don't need to be like healthy in like quotation marks. You don't need to be healthy every single day. Like, there's been a whole week where I've just eaten snacks and shit all week, and I don't really care. Like, I know you've got to be healthy, and obviously most days I do try and be healthy because I prefer healthy foods anyway. But at the end of the day, if you're not healthy, it doesn't matter. You're not going to change that drastically. And I think that was what I feared so much, like having a day where I just ate so much food and just so much like bad food, even though there are no bad foods, but your mind makes that assumption of it. And then the next day I'd have to eat really healthy. And if I was craving something that I redeemed as not healthy, I'd beat myself up over it. But just feed your cravings and just, it's just, again, about balance. And I always go on about that, so I'll stop going on about that. But this Christmas was the first Christmas where it was kind of like I've recovered and got past most of my past demons with all that. However, Christmas Day happened, and it kind of got to the end of the day, and I just had this overwhelming sense of just fear, and like all those thoughts were coming back, and I really hated it. And I was telling my parents that I was crying, like I came downstairs crying when my family were leaving. They're like, "What's wrong?" And then I told them that I was really frustrated because I thought all those thoughts had left, and I thought that this Christmas I could really enjoy the freedom and the food freedom and the doing absolutely nothing all day freedom. Because then for the rest of the week, I did exactly that as I knew I would. And I don't know, I just got this. I think it was because I thought like I had to feel like that because it was Christmas and I'm used to feeling like that. So that's where my mind was at. And the next day I kind of got up, like I was crying the rest of the night. I was like, I feel like shit. Then the next day I got up and just got myself together. I was like, you've just had Christmas. Come on. Um, and okay, I feel like a proper, I want to say influencer now, even though I know I'm not, but I want to feel like one right now because my mum bought me an espresso machine for Christmas. So I definitely feel like all those TikTok videos of morning routines now, every time I get up and make my coffee first thing, because that's what I do. And again, like that also teaches me that you don't have to move as soon as you get up in the morning. Like I just sit and have a coffee for an hour, maybe 2 hours, just like sitting. And then I go out and go to the gym or whatever. But yeah, and then New Year's again, another great night. Like all of our, it was like our main family, and then we had all of our partners come around, which was just so fun. And then we met up with our friends in the day, had loads of drinks, had a party, and that was really fun. But then it was time to go back to uni, and this is kind of what I want to get into. I wanted to film this film. I wanted to record this episode last week, but I was in literally too much of a state to talk about it. And I don't want to say it, but I think it was hormones. Like, when you're in that mood, when you're hormonal, and you just say, it's not my hormones, I'm just actually feeling like this. Yeah, that's what I was like. And to some extent, that is true, but I've never cried that much ever in my life. I mean, I probably have, but I'm not joking. Like, one of the days, I think it was like last Friday, I did not stop crying all day. And I woke up the next morning and I looked dreadful because I'd literally been crying nonstop. And yeah, so let me kind of explain it. On the Thursday, no, on the Wednesday before I came back to uni, I took my sister back to her uni because she still can't drive. So I had to drive her back down to Bath. Well, I spent the night with her, helped her move all of her stuff in. It was just us two in her house, which was just amazing. So we went there. We had such a good sister night. And basically, whenever me and my sister are getting on so well, like we are best friends, we always do. But I always feel this sense of we're about to have an argument. This Christmas, we did not, which I think is incredible. We just literally, it was, I can't even explain how close we just fell over Christmas. Like, I know we have always been best friends ever because, I mean, we're twins, so we are just best friends, but this was just something completely different. It just felt so good. Anyway, spent the night with her there. The next morning we got up, we went on a walk, we got amazing bagels at this place. I think it's called A Whole Bagel in Bath. Very good, highly recommend. Went for a little bit of a shop, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna head off. So we went back to hers. I got in a car and headed off. And then I got back to an empty house because my parents were on holiday and my brother was at his girlfriend's or something. So it was just an empty house. And that was kind of the trigger. And the trigger was having taken my sister back to uni. And it was all fine. I was starting sorting all my stuff out because I was planning to go the next day. And then I was in bed at night. And then I just had this sudden wave of, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to uni. I want to drop out. And yeah, and all those thoughts came to me, and I was like, oh my God. And I just could not stop crying. So I texted my mum, and I didn't want to because I know she's on holiday and I didn't want to have to like disturb her. But I texted her and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, uni isn't supposed to be about crying all the time because it is true. Like, since I've been at uni since last year, I haven't really enjoyed my time. And I've tried to pick myself up and get motivated, and it has just been really hard. So I was saying all that, like, uni shouldn't be about this. It'd be better if I drop out or go to a different uni, try again, blah, blah, blah. And she was really surprised again. But then I kind of just boiled it down to the fact that this happens every time I go back. So after a big break. And my mum was saying, like, it's the January blues. Everyone feels like this after Christmas because you've had like a whole month of kind of having an excuse to do shit all. Eat loads of food, see loads of people, just literally just have the best month of the year. And then January hits and you go straight back into reality, and it's kind of like ripping the band-aid off. Like, it just happens so fast. And I was like, that is really true. And I didn't really start the new year how I wanted to. I just was in a funk again because New Year's, me and my boyfriend had an argument, and that kind of just set my tone for the new year. I think that was a reason, but like, I don't think it was, but that's what my sister says it could be. So that definitely plays a part in some way anyway. But so I was like, okay, yeah, what do I do? And she was like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. So I woke up the next morning, and it was the Friday, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but I started like packing up all my stuff into my car. And I was like, okay, if I just put it in the car, I can then evaluate if I want to go, because I was like, well, there's no one else like in the flat at the moment, so I don't really have to go now. But then I just found myself driving, and I was like, what am I doing? I just felt so, I don't know what the word is, but I was like, why am I driving if I don't want to go? And I was, at this point, I was still crying. I was driving, crying. I got to my house, parked up, still crying. And so where we live, like, there's no parking nearby, so you have to park on a road about a 5-minute walk away. And I had so much stuff. And again, even doing this act of moving all my stuff in on my own, I was like, that I felt pointless doing it, but I still carried on doing it. So I knew at that time, like, I'm still gonna do this, even though I feel like utter shite right now. So I did it. I moved all my stuff in. That was great. And then I was still crying. And then the rest of the day on the Friday, I literally was just, I could not stop crying. I was in bed all day, and I was texting my sister, and she was like, I don't know what to do. And I was texting my boyfriend, and all I wanted to do in that moment was go and see him. And he lives about an hour away from here. So I was like, right, I want to drive right now to go see him, or him to come over. And I texted him, I was like, I feel awful. Like, my mental health is so shit right now. I just need to be with you. And he was like, no, sorry, I've got so much work. And then that made me even more upset. But like, I understand that. I was like, I'm literally, like, I don't think he realized how much I was a mess. And in a way, I'm glad that he didn't see me because I looked absolutely awful. And yeah, it was really quiet in the flat. Like, no one was here, and it was just so lonely, and I just did not know what to do. But I stayed, and on the weekend, it was better when more people came back and everyone came back. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And I said to myself, right, Ellie, do this week of seminars and then evaluate your life. On the Sunday, I went to go see my friend, and then my brother invited me around back home on the Sunday night for dinner, which was so nice of him. And then I thought I wasn't going to go back on the Monday, but I did come back again, and then the week was so good. Like the whole uni thing, I had so much anxiety going to that first seminar on the Monday, but I did it. I only went to like 4 seminars though this week, which is really bad. But I kind of had an excuse this week because I did email my tutors saying, I don't know how long I'll be back for. And I think I need to do a follow-up email because I know that I'm staying. And it was just, as my mum said, just a massive hit of January blues. So this is kind of what I want to talk about now. Well, as you know, I'm a huge fangirl for Taylor Swift. So I'm going to use one of her like song quotes for this. Don't try it till you hear it. Like what? Don't knock it till you hear it. The song quote is, "Today is never too late to be brand new." I've spoken about this before, and it is the fact that each day or any point in the day, literally any second of the day, whatever day it is, you can change. You can change your mindset, you can change your habits, you can, you know what I mean? Like you can just lift yourself up. And I know, as I've just demonstrated, how hard that is. Because last week, all I wanted to do was cry because in my mind, everything was bad. I thought my relationship was bad, even though it wasn't. I was just reading into it. I thought my relationship with my parents was bad. I was failing at uni, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that's where my mindset was at. But then when I started doing things, I felt better. When I started listening to uplifting podcasts, when I went back to the gym, when I started actually doing stuff for myself, I was like, okay, we can get through this. So like, even though last week started off so bad, like the start of uni, the start of the new year, it got so much better because this week has been so fun. Like, and I want to class it as like my mindset, and yeah, I am going to class it as that, as an abundance mindset, and really not taking where you are for granted and just grasping onto everything you can. Like every day is a chance to start over. And I mean, this week it wasn't like I woke up one day and I felt better. It was more gradual than that because like I did stuff each day with different people. For example, on the Tuesday, my boyfriend came over, we went to the pub, like that was a really fun night. Wednesday, I don't know what I did Wednesday. It was a free day, so I think I just like spent it with my friends. Thursday, my boyfriend came over again. We went to the pub again, and then we spent like the morning together. And then, sorry, there's so many police cars around here. Anyway, we like massive group of us from the flat. We all went up north to stay at one of our friends' house. And we just spent like a whole weekend there, and that was the best weekend ever. I swear, because it was just doing nothing and just literally just playing board games and drinking all day, and that is literally my ideal weekend. So yeah, that was really, really enjoyable. So you can see how things just accumulatively got better. But yeah, so that kind of shows the fact that life is full of highs and lows. If I'm going to get now into kind of the like general technical side of this, I've learned that self-discovery and becoming the best version of me is not about striving to have a life without those low points and those hardships, but rather than using them to grow and learn from them. There's a lesson in everything we go through, and that is used to build up ourselves again, to create a new chapter of our lives. And that aspect is so important. Like, there are going to be good bits and bad bits every day of your life. And it's, again, as I said, it's not about having none of them and just having highs, because without lows, we can't have highs and vice versa. But we need to use them instead of mope around and find excuses for it. We need to use them, grow from them, like kind of think about what that's taught us. And this past hardship that I've gone through, like that has taught me that I can be hormonal on very superficial level, but also like it's taught me this lesson actually, that you are going to go through some shit times, but then there's always a rainbow at the end of the storm. Like it might take you ages to get to that rainbow, but it is going to be there. Like even if you don't believe it when you're in that hard spot. Trust me, I believe that. But then it did appear, and I just felt so much freer. And yeah, we always come back from our lows way stronger. We heal from it, we get back to life, and each time we come back different and we change. This is why it's so exciting that we don't know the next version of ourselves, our next chapter. We might not like that chapter, but there's always the next one. And besides, we come back having learned from it. So what that means is that constantly we're evolving. Constantly there's a new chapter of our lives that appears. And right now I'm in my, as I said, like student life phase, post dropping out mentality phase. And yeah, I just want to get back on the grind of studying more and going back to the gym, and yeah, just kind of just doing new things, spontaneous things, and trying to enjoy January, as sucky as it is, because that is the crux of all of our problems during January. Like the fact that it's January and I literally have no money left. And it's been a week into uni. But that is because like I bought a bus pass, I went away for the weekend, etc. But yeah, the kind of point of this episode is that, I mean, it's a recap episode, but also to show that like healing and self-discovery is definitely not linear, and we have all of these hardships. And yeah, that's sad, but it's true. Like, you're never going to heal if you don't let yourself feel. You've got to sit with that pain and discomfort and listen to it and kind of just hear what it's trying to tell you. Like, yeah, I think that what the thought of dropping out of uni was trying to tell me was that mentally I'm not okay right now. And that is kind of the first thing that comes to mind, like the first kind of escape. I'm like, okay, I'll just drop out. I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to drop out. And it's kind of like the first comfort signal, I guess. Just, yeah, alarms are blaring. That means drop out, spend life with your family. But I was like, if I did drop out, that would serve me nothing, because in our society, it's been drilled into our minds that we need a degree. And to an extent, that is true, but it's not. Like, if it's costing you your mental health, it's not worth it. And that's what I've always been told. But like, my parents don't really believe it. They say just get a degree. And I know that. And it is true that next year I'm on my year abroad. So that's not a year in study, that's just a year of fun. And then the year after that is my final year. So like, I'm pretty much done after this year. So that's all I can hang on to. A very important thing also is the very famous quote of this I cannot speak. This too shall pass. What that means is that if you're going through something bad, it's gonna get better. That will pass. This whole hardship, that will go and dissipate, and you'll become a much stronger person from it. It's really hard to hear that, because at the time you think your life is ending and everything is going skew-whiff, but trust me, it will get better from there. Just please hang on to that thought and that quote, that it will get better. This too shall pass. You've been through hardships before, you got through them, you can get through this one. Even if it feels like the worst one, it always feels like the worst one, but you can push through it. So like, please just keep pushing through. I know how hard it is. Another thing that I really got annoyed with about this whole episode I had was that I just wanted someone to tell me what to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do myself. I didn't know why I wanted to drop out. I didn't know anything. I was just so frustrated. And everyone I spoke to was like, well, why are you upset? And I was like, I'm more upset because I don't know why I'm upset. I don't know why I want to drop out, but to me, it sounds like the best choice. And then I didn't drop out, obviously, but I just found out that I was just most frustrated and emotional about the fact that I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, please, someone tell me what to do. They're like, we can't. Like, you have to do that yourself. And that's kind of like the hardest thing about healing, is that no one else can do it for you. Anything mental, no one can do it for you. For example, eating disorder recovery, as a very good example for me. Like, I had to make that step on my own. And I'm very stubborn. So when people were telling me to recover, like my mum, like, please eat this meal, blah, 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 or don't do a workout today, they, like, all the people trying to help me back then knew that they couldn't do a lot. They could just be there for me. And they knew that I had to make that decision on my own, because, for example, if I did a workout after dinner when I knew I shouldn't have, they knew what I was thinking. They knew that I shouldn't be doing it anymore. But they just kind of let me. They're like, do you really need to do that? They just kind of prompt me, but then if I did it, you know what I mean? They kind of like left me to do it. But they could see that I was beginning to recognize that I shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, I learned that process on my own. One day, it was literally one day I decided, right, I've had enough. I'm going to sort this out. And that is the most valuable things I've ever done for myself. Like, I can never forgive myself enough for doing that. And that, saying that out loud literally makes me want to cry, because I did that on my own. Yeah, okay, I had people pushing me from behind, but literally, like, that day I woke up saying, right, fuck it, I don't want you anymore, get out of my life. And that's exactly what I did. And obviously it's still hard, but it's nowhere near as hard as it was this time last year, this time the year before even. When faced with a hard decision, no one can tell you what to do. You have to do it yourself. And that's so painful to know. But remember that if you don't have you, you have no one. Everything starts with yourself. And it's so important to work on yourself for yourself, not because someone else tells you to. Like right now, if you're thinking, oh, I should really start working on myself because this person's telling me that I need to. I'm not telling you that you need to. I'm telling you how important it is for you to do that. But you do that when it comes to a point where you realize you need to do that, if that makes sense. Like, we all go through different chapters of our lives, and especially this whole self-discovery thing. Yeah, I can give you prompts on how to go through it, but that first day you do it is like up to you. When you start this journey, it's up to you. And again, no one can do that for you. It's a horrible feeling not knowing what to do and literally wanting someone to tell you what to do. And it causes so much frustration, and you begin to take it out on other things. So I was taking it out on my mum, I was taking it out on my boyfriend. I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I started taking it out on myself and then going back to these old habits. Like, that's what I was doing last week. And I was like, Ellie, stop, breathe, and just let go. And just, that really did help. Just the whole take a moment and just breathe. And I did. And I feel a lot better, especially after that weekend. Like, I feel really refreshed. And yeah, I've got so much anxiety from the start of this week being Monday. And I hate Mondays. Oh my God. I should have gone home last night. I was debating it, but I already drove 3 hours from Leeds anyway. But I wanted to go home because I hate Mondays, because my seminars don't start until 5 p.m, which is so late. So I'm just literally hanging around all day, and I hate going onto campus early because I feel even worse because I've got nothing to do. And at least here I can just sit and watch TV in a blanket. So yeah. But I am just waiting around today, and it makes me more and more not want to go. But you know, we might be going out tonight, so that's an incentive to go and come back and then drink. So that'd be fun. But yeah, this episode was just kind of telling you that life is full of ups and downs, but you can hear from my voice that I am feeling okay today. Tomorrow I might not, and that comes with the joys of the pill, as well as being a teenager, as well as having loads of burdens on me right now, like financially, people wise. I don't know. We always have things going on, and that's important to know. Like, but your lows are your lows. I hate it when people say, like, when you come in like to a friendship group and say, oh, I'm going through this at the moment, it's horrible. And then someone comes back at you saying, well, that's nothing compared to me. Like, your lowest low is your lowest low. That is the worst thing you've ever felt, and that is totally valid. If someone comes over to you saying you're not allowed to feel bad about that, literally take them out of your life. Say goodbye to them, because that is not good. Whatever you feel is valid for you. Okay, remember that, because it is a horrible feeling when someone tells you that your feelings are not valid, or that you're making a big deal out of nothing, because for you, that is the biggest thing in your life right now. I'm going to end it on that before I go into a massive rant about it. But yeah, let me know how your Christmas was. I hope you did spend it with people you love and you made some really big memories out of it, because I definitely did the last few months. I've made so many memories with my friend in Austria, my friends here this week, my boyfriend, my sister, my family. Like, I've made so many very, very precious memories this Christmas that I will hold on to forever. So I hope you did too. And thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. See you soon. Speak to you soon. Go follow me on my Instagram and TikTok, and go over to my blog at Pepeto. And yeah, you'll be hearing from me soon.